Oh, I see. I spelled Pharaoh wrong at an event like 2 weeks ago. I was like, that's... Yeah, exactly. I was like, that is not bad. Okay, class, let's start. Take the music down for the duration of our lesson. Today what we're doing is we are attaching a droid, a static mesh, right, to our character. We have a character that we coded that follows your guy around, a companion. Now what I want to do is attach something to him, get rid of the mannequin guy, and just have it be this guy that follows around. Also, we want it so that as this guy follows you around, you can hear audible noises. And for a droid, it could be anything. It could be the hum of his machinery, a constant drone, beeps and boops, and all kinds of robot stuff. It could even be dialogue audio that you have. And to do that, we made a sound cube, right? That whole sound system where you can have random pieces of audio play randomly, loop it over time, modulate the pitch, the volume, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to attach all of that to a character. So I made a little character right here. It took me like 10 seconds to make, as it will you, because it's one sphere and then a flattened sphere slightly smaller. And so this could be my droid. So, and by the way, this is all in the live stream right now. It should be live. What I'm going to do is I made a static mesh. So now I've got this object here. Remember how we make static meshes? We hold shift. We click on everything we want to highlight, right click, choose merge actors. Okay, that's how we make a new model. The first thing I want you to do, open up the blueprint for our follower. Open up the blueprint for our follower. You do that by going into the world, outliner, finding him in the world, in the details panel, choosing edit blueprint, open blueprint editor, or going into the content browser and double clicking on him that way. So anyway, you want to be on this and you want to change it to the viewport. You want to be on the viewport. Hey guys, playing things in the middle of the lesson is distracting to me. It's distracting other people trying to learn. Keep it down. All right, so I've got my guy here. I want to get rid of him. First thing you're going to do is click on the model. And in the details panel where it says skeletal mesh, click on the skeletal mesh like you're going to change it and choose clear. It's going to get rid of his mesh. I'm also going to delete his lightsaber. My droid's not going to have a lightsaber. So it's just set his mesh to nothing, his skeletal mesh in the details panel. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a static mesh. Looks like someone's left it right over there. Sort of. Add a static mesh. Yeah, so now you're going to add a static mesh. So click Add Component, choose Static Mesh. In the Details panel here, on the right, you're going to set it to the mesh that we're using for your droid. In this case, I made that thing before. I named it BB-8. I'm going to choose that. Now, this is what's going to be following me around. All good? Okay. This is live stream, yep. So I set the static mesh to our BB-8. Now if I hit play, we should see him following us around. Let's see. I got all kinds of droids following me around now. Pretty cool. Okay. Let's now add some sort of audio to him. So that the closer we are to him, it sounds louder. The farther away, the audio fades over time. To add audio, it's really simple. We just go back to the add component where we add everything new to our character and type in audio. We add in an audio component, just called audio. And the details panel for audio, where it says sound, you can set literally any single sound, but also any cue. So I have this thing called droid sounds. I think it randomizes a bunch of the sounds. So these are the sounds that it's constantly playing because it's using the cue. So I'm going to click that. Remember, cue looks like that. I have many things going into here, looping, all of that. So now if I hit play, okay, the next thing you want to do is on our audio, check mark something that says override attenuation. Override attenuation. What does that mean? That means that it allows us to change all the settings about how far away we hear this audio. When you click override attenuation, you get this big sphere around here. It's in the details panel of audio. You can type in the word override and it'll show up. So what these spheres represent is the large one. The second you get your player crosses into this invisible sphere, it will now play the minimum volume that it can. And as you get closer, it will increase in volume. As you decrease, it'll decrease in volume until you're outside of the sphere and there's nothing playing. And then the inner sphere here represents hearing the thing at full volume. So you can control both of these. If you're like, no, I only want to hear a full volume and then it should start fading as soon as I leave this inner sphere, and then you leave this inner sphere pretty small. But you can adjust that size. By check marking allow spatialization, you can change the size of this. It's going to be, let's look here. It's going to be in the attenuation distance settings toward the top. Attenuation shape, the inner radius. See, I can grow that or not. Fall off distance. I'm going to make my fall off distance pretty small. And that way I only really hear the droid if I'm right up and close towards the droid. Trailing behind me pretty fast.
Wait a minute. Why does your character have a jumping animation?
Because I turned it off for another class. But I could add that back in, actually. In fact, I want to add a sprint to my characters. It'd be like the bonus part of the lesson before we end it. I want to be able to sprint away from my guy so I can go faster. This is how quick and easy that is. I'm going to right-click, type in shift's a good one. Get my character movement, grab it. Set max walk speed. That's our speed of our character. Set it to, let's say 1,000 when we're sprinting, because it's at 600 by default. Just happen to know that. I'd connect that to the pressed event, but when it's released, the shift key, we're back to normal speed. So set that back to 600. That should be the code right there for a sprint mechanic. If you want to copy that or pause it. So guys, you should hear them. You hear that? It's pretty loud. I hear making noises. If I go this way, I can sprint away. Slightly faster. Go. So good. Static meshes, music. In video games, you're typically designing so much of the visual scape that we don't think of the audio scape. It's probably the most underutilized yet most emotionally and informatively impactful of all environments is the audio environment. Ambient audio, direct audio, things people say, narrative audio, things people tell, and of course, emotive audio, music, sound effects. So work on that today and see if you can make something more interesting than my little BB-8 droid here, and make it move around, follow you, and be a companion. And then we'll continue work on that next week.